Did you know that the average age of a pope upon election in the last century has been around 65 years, with pontificates lasting on average about 15 years? But beyond the statistics, a more profound question looms as we look towards the future. In an era of unprecedented global change, of deep societal divisions and existential threats, what kind of leader does the world's largest religious institution, the Catholic Church, truly need next? This isn't just an internal matter for the Church. The voice of the Pope resonates globally, influencing discourse on ethics, peace, and humanity's shared challenges. Tonight, we delve into a topic of immense significance: the selection of the next Pope. The Pope is more than a religious leader. He is a moral voice on the world stage, a diplomat, a figure who can convene and console, challenge and inspire. The decisions made, the direction set by the next pontiff will have far-reaching implications for interfaith dialogue, social justice movements and international relations for decades to come. We're here to explore the complexities, the potential candidates, and what this transition truly means. The next leader of the Catholic Church will inherit not just a legacy of faith spanning 2 millennia, but also a complex tapestry of contemporary challenges that demand astute leadership and profound spiritual depth. One of the most pressing issues, particularly in historically Catholic strongholds like Europe and North America, is the undeniable trend of declining church attendance. Secularization is advancing, and for many, traditional religious institutions seem increasingly out of step with modern life. Compounding this is the long shadow of the clergy sexual abuse crisis. The wounds are deep, and the call for justice, accountability, and true healing for victims remains paramount. Internally, the Church itself is a broad tent, encompassing a wide spectrum of views, and the next pontiff will need to be a figure of unity in an often polarized environment. Debates rage on issues such as the role of women in the Church, the pastoral care of LGBTQ+ individuals, the interpretation of doctrine, and liturgical practices. Beyond internal matters, the Pope is a global moral leader, and the cry of the earth, as Pope Francis termed it, demands urgent attention. Climate change is an existential threat, disproportionately affecting the poorest and most vulnerable nations. Building on the powerful encyclical, the next Pope will be expected to champion environmental stewardship, advocate for sustainable development, and urge world leaders to take decisive action to protect our common home. The commitment to social justice extends to a myriad of other global concerns. Poverty, systemic inequality, the plight of migrants and refugees, and human trafficking remain stark realities in our world. The next Pope's voice will be critical in keeping these issues at the forefront of international consciousness, reminding us of our shared humanity and responsibilities. Geopolitical instability, the resurgence of nationalism, and ongoing wars and conflicts present another formidable challenge. The Holy See has a long history of diplomacy, often working behind the scenes to promote peace and reconciliation. The next Pope will need to be a skilled statesman, a voice for dialogue over division, and a tireless advocate for non-violent solutions to conflict. Interreligious dialogue remains a cornerstone of the Church's mission in an increasingly interconnected yet often polarized world. Fostering mutual understanding, respect, and cooperation between different faith traditions is essential for building peace and addressing shared global challenges. When the time comes for a conclave, the eyes of the world turn to the College of Cardinals. These men carry the responsibility of electing the next Pope. Names like Cardinal Tagle, Parolin, and Erdo often emerge. Tagle is known for his pastoral approach and concern for the poor. Parolin is an experienced diplomat and administrator. Erdo is respected for his intellectual rigor. African cardinals like Ambongo Besungu represent a dynamic part of the Church. Ultimately, the cardinals seek guidance to choose the next Pope. The selection of a new Pope isn't made in a vacuum. Key moments and events shape the thinking of cardinal electors. Influential factors include synodal processes, papal documents, and global crises. Pope Francis's appointments have diversified the College of Cardinals. New cardinals bring different priorities, reflecting their region's needs. These factors shape the profile of the next Pope. As we've explored, the path to selecting the next Pope is paved with immense challenges and profound responsibilities. The man chosen to lead the Catholic Church will step into a role that demands not only deep spiritual conviction but also extraordinary leadership in a world that is, by any measure, in significant flux. The Church itself faces a period of introspection and the need for renewal, making this upcoming transition a moment of critical importance for its future direction and its voice in global affairs. Declining religious observance in many traditionally Christian parts of the world, particularly the West, poses a fundamental question about the Church's relevance and its ability to communicate its message to contemporary society. The painful legacy of the clergy sexual abuse crisis continues to demand unwavering attention. Rebuilding trust requires more than apologies. It necessitates systemic change, full accountability for perpetrators and enablers, and a profound commitment to creating a culture of safety and transparency. Beyond these internal concerns, the next Pope will be a crucial voice on urgent global issues. We've discussed the moral imperative to address climate change, the persistent scourges of poverty and inequality, the humanitarian crises driven by conflict and forced migration, and the complex ethical dilemmas posed by rapid technological advancements. The Church's social doctrine offers a rich resource for navigating these challenges, and the Pope's advocacy can mobilize action and inspire hope on a global scale. We then turned our attention to some of the potential contenders, whose names often surface in discussions about the succession. We considered figures like Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, representing a pastoral Francis-aligned vision from the growing Church in Asia, and Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the experienced Vatican diplomat offering stability and curial know-how. We also looked at Cardinal Peter Erdo, a European intellectual with a more conservative profile, and the rising influence of cardinals from Africa embodying the Church's vibrant growth in the global South. The decision facing the College of Cardinals, therefore, is not merely about selecting an individual. It is about choosing a direction for the Catholic Church for the next decade or potentially much longer. The weight of this responsibility on each elector is immense. This decision, made in the seclusion of the Sistine Chapel, will reverberate through the lives of over 1.3 billion Catholics across the globe. Now that we've journeyed together through the complex landscape facing the Catholic Church, explored the immense challenges awaiting its next leader, and touched upon some of the individuals who might be called to this sacred office, I am genuinely keen to hear from you, our viewers. This isn't just a topic for theologians or Vatican insiders. The future of the papacy is something that touches many lives and sparks considerable thought and discussion across the globe. The selection of a pope is, without doubt, a deeply significant event. Whether you are a practicing Catholic, someone from another faith tradition, or an observer of world affairs, you likely have an opinion, a hope, or perhaps even a concern about the kind of leadership that will emerge from the next conclave. The voice of the Pope carries weight, and the direction he sets can have far-reaching consequences. So your perspective matters. So I warmly invite you to share your thoughts with us. Please take a moment to go down to the comments section below this video. Let us know who you think might be the next Pope. Is there a particular cardinal whose vision or experience resonates with you? Or perhaps you believe the Church needs a leader with a profile we haven't discussed tonight. We are eager to read your insights. So the stage is indeed set. The challenges, as we've detailed, are immense, multifaceted, and deeply consequential. The field of potential successors to Pope Francis is diverse, each cardinal bringing their own unique history, their pastoral experiences, their theological insights, and their vision for the Church's path forward. The decision the College of Cardinals will eventually make, behind the historically resonant closed doors of the Sistine Chapel, will resonate far beyond the ancient walls of Vatican City. It's a choice that will profoundly shape the spiritual lives of over 1 billion people and will undoubtedly influence the global conversation on morality, justice, and peace for many years to come. It's a story we'll continue to follow closely, committed to keeping you informed every step of the way. The process itself is one steeped in centuries of tradition, in solemn prayer, but also, as is the human condition, in careful calculation and discernment. Who among them can best navigate the Church through the persistent secular headwinds, the deep internal divisions, and the ever-present demand for greater accountability and transparency. The world, Catholic and non-Catholic alike, watches and waits because the voice that eventually emerges from that famous balcony truly matters on a global scale. Thank you for watching. I'm Mominul Islam and will continue to keep you ahead.